Whenever anyone is having issues with money,
Yeah.
they can't get it, it's a lack of ideas.
Oh.
And that's why I talked about the mindset conversation, pushing past fear, because all of those considerations are going to try to keep you from taking that quantum leap. It could be things that you don't know, that you don't know, that you don't even know you don't know, that's blocking you from getting to the next level. And I think that that's the part of the conversation that people don't understand about money, because anybody I'm talking to about wealth or anything like that, they're coming up with ideas. They're constantly in the mode of creation. And that's utilizing your God force to create. And when you understand that, money looks different. So I think that's the myth where people think to get more money, I got to work harder. I got to work smarter. But it's just about coming up with ideas.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. you see him, change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprints of wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the most greatest, most powerful money mindset show on the planet. Listen, when I tell you we are bringing you heat after heat after heat, I'm excited about this interview because, I know a lot of people in real estate. I know a lot of people who do some awesome things, but I have never met in the flesh someone who owns a hotel, someone who has done multi-million dollars in projects and is helping to educate people, forget that, not people, but people who look like me and you, how to become a hotel owner. We have the Jessica Myers in the building.
Hey, thank
Ms.
you.
Myers,
thank
how you doing?
I feel amazing.
Yes.
I'm living the dream.
Yes.
And it's so awesome to be here. Like your energy,
Yes.
if you weren't inspired by his energy just now to get up and do,
Yes.
like I don't know what.
I appreciate you.
I don't know if you got a pulse.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And it's great because one of the things we do inside the vault, we have a lot of big dogs that come through, a lot of multi-millionaires and people who are moving and shaking. And so behind the scenes, see, we need a show called Behind the Vault. I'll be honest with you, right? We need a show called Behind the Vault where we're giving you inside the vault. But before you get inside, if you come behind the vault, there's, $1 billion worth of game because literally Jessica just dropped a $1 billion idea, and I'm not even exaggerating. Dropped $1 billion idea within us just talking, chopping it up. But that's beside the point. Miss Jessica Myers, I appreciate you. Inside the Vault is the greatest money mindset show on the planet, and our goal is to take people literally inside the vault, but figuratively inside the mindset. We want to talk about people's mindset, like how do people get to success? How do you get to where you are? But before we get into all of that, for those who don't know, in your words, who is Jessica Myers?
So, hi, I am Jessica Myers, and I am a real estate developer and entrepreneur. And while I wear many hats, and I got a cute one on today, it's a lot that I do in real estate. I actually started out as a wholesaler in real estate. And so when you say starting from the bottom, wholesaling is at the bottom. You're doing the grunt work, you're chasing down the sellers, you're chasing down the buyers to make it all happen. But in the midst of that, that's how you develop the skill set and the know-how of what to do when you see an opportunity, how to take advantage of it, how to understand the numbers. So that's what I've done. I've worked my way from the bottom all the way up, from wholesaler to hotel owner.
Sheesh.
And I help people along the way.
I love it. And so for those out there who don't know what wholesaling is, right? Because I think people understand what, I flip houses, right? When people say, I flip houses, I think people understand that flipping houses, meaning you're buying a house, distressed property or whatever, you fix it up, you sell it, so you're flipping it, right? Buying and holding, I know people, understand that buying and holding, meaning, you're buying, you have a house, you buy it, you hold it, you rent it out, and that's part of your portfolio. But I hear the term wholesale a lot. I know what wholesaling is, but there's somebody who's watching it who knows wholesale is part of real estate, but what is wholesaling for real? What is it?
So now, for example, I'm an investor. I buy up properties all the time. but I'm busy. I'm running a hotel, I'm teaching, like I'm running boot camps and everything. I don't have the time to go look for new properties anymore. So that's the job of a wholesaler. The wholesaler, it's a low risk investing technique in that I don't need my credit. I don't need to sign for the house at the bank. I find as plenty of times we drive by these dilapidated houses that are run over. I call them drab houses, where it's like somebody need to do something to that house. So that's where somebody comes in, like myself as a wholesaler. I negotiate the price with the seller. I get the property under contract. And now I go market it to a buyer or someone who's actually going to do the work. Someone who didn't have the time to look for the deal. I've laid it out. I'm like, hey, you can buy this property. It's going to be worth $100,000. You can buy it for $20,000. You can put $40,000 worth of work into it, and you get a nice little profit. So as the wholesaler, you're the one who facilitates the deal, puts it all together. No money down, no cash out of your pocket, no credit. And it is a way to generate income to get started in real estate.
And then, but how do you get paid though, right? So now I have this property. Let's say there's a property that's $20,000. I'm able to secure a contract where somebody says, look, the property's $20,000. And so you just sell, you could sell it for $20,000. So now you have that contract. You go to an investor and you say, hey, all you gotta do is put $40,000 in.
Exactly.
Right. And so now, do you sell it to the investor for $20,000? Like, how much do you sell it to the investor for?
So good point, because like you said, the value of the house is $100,000. So you still want to make sure that the numbers make sense, because there are percentages that you want to stay within when you start getting to the weeds of the deal, right? So let's say I do get the property under contract for $20,000. I then go to the buyer and say, hey, doesn't this property look good at $25,000? This property looks amazing at $25,000. You need $40,000 worth of work. You're still going to get that $100,000 value. That difference between what I got it under contract with the seller and what I got under contract with the buyer, it's called an assignment fee. And that, when it's all said and done, we go to the closing attorney, that's where they distribute the money. They distribute the seller their $20,000, after the buyer pays their $25,000, and then they give you as the wholesaler that $5,000 delta.
I get it. And so that's why when people say wholesaling, I don't need to be a real estate agent. I don't need to have my, like, then
you can't even do it as a real estate agent.
Right.
This is a concept that strictly, you cannot be a licensed professional to do this. Because as a licensed professional, your job is, if you get an increase, we just said the property was $20,000, right? And you got an increase to $25,000. As a licensed professional, you have to give those funds to the seller. So that's where wholesaling is separate from a licensed professional. Because a lot of people think like, oh, let me be licensed to get, no, you do not have to be licensed to get into wholesaling. But that's a good way to start. Because I know for me, it was about buying my time. Like as much as I wanted to get involved in real estate, I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we just bought this amazing $1 million hotel. We didn't, you can't get started if it's so big. So that's where wholesaling is a low risk technique that helps you get in, stack up some cash, because the average deal is about $5,000 to $10,000 that you get per wholesale deal. So when I first got started, when I was able to generate my annual income in 90 days, I was like, oh, wait, a year worth of time just got shrunk down to 90 days? Hello.
And so what did you do prior to wholesaling? What was your 9 to 5? Like,
I was actually in media.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I went to school for, I was eat, breathe, sleep media. I was I remember at 16, I messaged the NBC affiliate, I would just dust the counters, let me come in. And so by 17, I got a job at Fox. And I was working there until I graduated college. And I ran so quickly up the corporate ladder because I was so determined. I'm working at the Nick Cannon Morning Show at CBS in New York by 22.
Wow.
And I was like, great, seeing all these celebrities, like, hey, Jay-Z, hey, Lady Gaga, seeing all these celebrities, but it felt hollow. I was so determined to make a difference in the world and in the industry, but then it was like, I was only stumped for the gram. So it was like, something has to give. And I remember talking to my dad, and he was like, you spent so much time climbing the corporate ladder. What if the ladder was on the wrong wall?
Oh, that's a bar. Oh, that's a bar right there.
But I mean, you're saying this to a 22-year-old who just spent so much time going one direction. And as much as I was like, cool, well, let me find something else, you stay at the job, because you get consistent pay. So it's like, I knew I needed to do something different, but how do you walk away from every 2 weeks, you're getting income? Like, how do you take the bet on yourself? And so thankfully I went to quit my job after taking a real estate boot camp, because I was like, wait, real estate, I can make money? And my boss was like, what are you gonna do? I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. And I was trying to explain to him what wholesaling was, and he's like, that sounds like a scam.
Wow,
He was like, stay here a year. Figure it out. and then leave. That was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Awesome.
Because in this year, I received a 5-year plaque because I did get, you get a little time.
Sure.
It's tense when you feel like there's no other options.
Yeah.
But then when they loose it, you kind of like, oh, well, I can watch this show because I'm set.
Yeah.
I got a job that he said I can stay for the next year while I figure this out.
Yeah.
And you start getting a little lax.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I received a 5-year plaque in this period.
Yeah.
And at the same time, someone else was receiving a 25-year plaque.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was like, here is the trajectory of my job.
Yeah.
Here across the table from me. If I stay here for 20 years, bust my ass, I won't own anything else.
Yes.
I won't be any more vested in the company.
Yes.
I would have just get
Here lies
another
your future.
plaque.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be damn if I'm, working on this whole time just to go there.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, hey, I got to do something different. It jolted me, and I was like, got to get it together. We got a year. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
And that's when I went balls to the walls in wholesaling. That's how I was able to generate my annual salary in a 90-day period.
Wow.
Because I was like, we got to go.
Wow.
And that's when I jumped into renovation and development.
And then jumping into wholesaling, did you have a mentor? Did somebody teach you? Did you just we looking at YouTube videos? How'd you make your annual income in 90 days?
So it was a lot of YouTube videos.
Yes.
And it was, I definitely went to one of those weekend courses, come learn real estate this weekend. And I was like, what are they gonna teach you in a weekend?
Yeah.
And obviously they sign you up for more education.
Yeah.
But it was that weekend, the secondary educational course that taught me a lot of the elements. Nice. Now there still were a lot, get to the front door and what do I do next? Even though they explained the concept, they explained the buyer, they explained the seller, but they didn't show the contracts.
Yeah.
They didn't show what to do next, the negotiations. Yeah. And that's where I was like, wait, what do I do? So thankfully I did find a mentor. It was this real estate group here in Atlanta that I was able to latch onto. And within the first few weeks, I was able to buy my first property. Nice. And then that's where I was able to start okay, I got this thing figured out. That's when I was able to start transacting deals and really make an impact. Once I really connected with the right team.
Nice. I love that. So now you're wholesaling, you made your income. At what point, made your annual income in 90 days, at what point did you quit and say, all right, this is it full time?
So finally, after I hit that milestone of my annual salary, I didn't even realize it was 90 days. Like they say, hindsight's 20/20, because it makes for a beautiful story now. Yeah. But in it, I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Right. I was freaking out. Yeah. But that's where, my mentor, he had weekly meetings. Yeah. So that's where I was showing up to the weekly meeting. I get now how church is so sensational, because you need to be there, to be in that energy, to be around the people, to stay focused. Yeah. Because a lot of people want to jump to, well, how did you get the hotel? How did you pay millions of dollars? Yeah. But just like you said, it starts with the mindset.
For sure. Yeah.
It starts with being in the right place, having the right people, and having the right conversations. Yeah. So it's not just about, you can do it on your own. It's about joining the collective circle that help encourage you and push you through those hard days. Yeah. But really, once I reached that milestone after being a part of this group, the synergy, the deals that we were able to do, within the group, you come present a deal. You get a property under contract, present the deal at the meeting. And then you got somebody in the back who could buy it.
Wow.
So that was an immediate way to get cool. After I was able to do one, did two. Yeah. I was able to do two, it was like, wait. I'm just transacting. I'm getting literally, at the time I wasn't making that much. Yeah. So I was thinking if I just got this one $5,000 deal from doing this little bit of time, imagine if it would take me 4 or 3 months, about 2 or 3 months to get this on my job, minus taxes. So probably even more than that, right? So what would it be if I took that same time and put it on myself, or more into wholesaling? And that's where my boss gave me that year to focus on that. That's what it gave me. It's and especially once I turned up, that's what really made the difference.
Nice. And so now wholesale, you're making money. Take me to the next, transition of going from hotel, or going from wholesale to hotel owner. I don't know what's in the middle of that, but take me to the next. So
I really started doing renovations now that I had a nest egg of money, because so much of me was like, oh, I don't have any money to get involved. Because you see people on TV, HGTV, somebody's a painter and an artist and they have $1 million budget, and I'm like, how does this, where's the real world practicality? And so that's where I was able to use wholesaling to save up money. And once I stacked up enough cash, and as you know, once you're in the industry, it's ways to get access to capital.
Absolutely, yeah.
And because on the outside looking in, you think that you're the one who pays, when they say the $350,000 price tag, it's not always you. Yeah. you can come up with other strategies and use other people's money to come up with, just a portion of that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was able to do. Like, if I get 10,000, if I get 20,000, I can get into a flip that may cost 300,000.
And so was that the trajectory though, where you intentionally like, all right, now I'm in media.
Yep.
Now I'm in wholesaling. But like, did you always want to become a real estate owner? Did you always wanted to like where did renovations come from?
I mean, honestly, it was just the next order of business because really it started out just buying my own time.
Yeah.
It didn't go from me wanting to be a developer, wanting to be in real estate. It was just about, wait, this hustle. And it's just like when you start getting around a better circle, when you start getting around other investors and seeing how they're generating money, you're just like, wait, that's a lot of the same things that I already do. How can I now get a part of the circle and be a part of this conversation? And I mean, hence, at the same time going to lunch with my business partner, Davon. We just started going to lunch. We went to college together. And it was just like, hey, girl, what you doing? And so I'm telling her about my days in the single family space because I ultimately did start to do renovations and development. Now that was its own rocky road.
Yeah.
And because I gave a contractor $30,000.
Yeah.
They ran off with my money.
Wow.
I gave another contractor, and this is as I'm leaving wholesale, and I'm like, wait, I just worked hard for that $30,000.
Right.
And so now trying to get into the renovation space, they're walking away with your money.
Yeah.
And then this happens.
Yeah.
And then they're selling drugs out of my house.
Ooh.
And so it was just like,
You had the trap house jumping.
Who you telling? Like it was one of the biggest like drug busts that the police wound up having to do.
Wow.
Just because I didn't have a team. It was just me. I was trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And I like to travel too. So I was gone on a crew. Like, cool. It takes 4 weeks to get this done.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 months.
Yeah.
Come back. That's when I found out drugs were being sold out of my house.
Wow.
So that's where it took me to build a team to really get my base, because it was just like, okay, to your point, how do you focus?
Yeah.
What are you doing that's working?
Yeah.
What are you doing that's not working?
Yeah.
And how can you move forward?
Yeah.
So ultimately, that's how I began to build my team.
Yeah. Okay.
And so now my team are watching after my projects.
Yeah.
So I'm not just flying by night, but we have a team doing development. So now that gives me time again to rethink, how will I make more?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, where am I going with this? What am I doing? Like, is this just piecemeal? Because like you said, I was trying to be in TV.
Right.
But when that trajectory changed, now starting from the bottom as a wholesaler, I still have that same hustle, that same drive of where is the trajectory? Where does this go?
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, cool, I want to get 1,000 doors. I will get 1,000 doors. Now, from a person who owned 2 houses,
Right.
1,000 seemed like a lot.
Right.
But then when you go to lunch with your friend, Davon,
Yeah.
and she's like, 1,000 doors, you get 5 hotels. That could be 1,000 doors in itself.
Wow. Yeah.
Meanwhile, like I got 2.
Right.
I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just like, how, wow, you can really make that exponential leap.
Yeah.
And talking about your net worth being your net worth, like that exposure to understand how to be a part of something you never thought possible. Like as a wholesaler, I did have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I was thinking small.
Yeah.
But then that's where you have a friend or somebody in your circle to push you greater.
Yeah.
And so that's where she was just like, a lot of the same concepts that you do in the single family space, apply that to the commercial space, and you'll be that much more exponential towards your goal.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hold on, don't press that button, because that's what I do every time I'm looking at an ad that I don't want to see. This ad just happened to be life-changing. I just happen to own one of the biggest home healthcare companies in the state of Georgia. I can help you create your own. Just to give you a little bit of insight, I send out registered nurses, LPNs, and CNAs to take care of people inside of the homes that cannot take care of themselves. But guess what? You don't have to have any medical background, and you don't have to have any medical knowledge. So if you're wanting to change your life and you have a passion for actually taking care of people, then go ahead and sign up for Home Healthcare Blueprint. I'll see you guys later.
It's funny because, and I love that because there's a book from Price Per Check called U Squared, right? And U Squared talks about taking the quantum leap. And a lot of times people think that because they're wherever they are, that the next logical step means, like if you're doing 2-family, the next logical steps is multifamily, and then multifamily, right? And so people take these logical steps, but U Squared says, listen, do the quantum leap, right? Instead of just thinking about this one single family and going to multifamily, go single family to right? Because you take a quantum leap, you actually get to your goal a little faster. And the truth of the matter, and I think Magic Johnson said this, right? Magic Johnson said, like the same work that like the same work and the same energy it takes to make $1 million is the same work and energy it takes to make $1 billion, right? And the truth of the matter is like, and I'll just tell you from my purview that when I was making let's say 4 figures a month, working a 9 to 5, I worked really, really hard, and then getting to the 5 figures a month or the 6 like that, like it's this, I'm working hard, right? And so you choose your hard. Are you going to work hard and make 4 figures, or can you work hard and make 6 figures, or can you work hard and make 7 figures, right? Like the same hard that it takes for you to do this one thing, just take that same energy and if you just take it from a psychological perspective, you will always get what you focus on.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to start with mindset.
Yeah.
Because so many people like, how did you get to the 8.3 million? And I'm just like, the same principle that you learn and understand down here, because if you're not faithful, diligent, and consistent with this one thing, and that was actually something that one of my mentors told me too, because I did a lot of transformational training, which helped to train my mind. And one of the things she said, the one thing, she was like, every day I would come home and take off my makeup. Because she was like, sometimes she used to have a bad habit of falling asleep with it on. And she was just like, I got so focused on that one thing. So my one thing is making up my bed every day. Because that used to be a hit or miss sometimes. But focusing on that one thing every day is what kept me in consistent behavior to now be an entrepreneur. Because remember, I didn't trust myself to make a salary before, because I'm like, I'm taking naps, I'm going taking long lunches. Like, I was not the best employee. I am not a good employee. I am not good at working for nobody. So that was one thing. I was scared to go into entrepreneurship, because I was like, if this is how I am for somebody else, how am I going to be for myself? But it took a mindset. It took a paradigm shift. And it took focusing on that one thing to really change it. And focusing on making my bed up every day is ultimately what led me to the steps of focusing on my business every day. And now having the success and the results that you guys see.
Man, so now you are officially a hotel owner. Like talk to us about that. Like, you own a whole hotel.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when you think about it, looking back at it. It's like, wow. Because, I'm not going to lie. When I thought about the hotel space and what I could afford, I was thinking we were going to get some rinky-dink thing. But the deals we were looking at were huge, like developmental deals. And we kissed a lot of frogs before we got here. So it's good to reflect now and be like, wow, we got a hotel. But getting here, it was a long journey. It was, evaluating a lot of deals that fell through, that didn't work, that people told us no. People wanted to walk away. Because, we're pitching to capital partners to be a part of this deal. Nobody wanted to take a chance on us. Like, as much as we thought we were doing a lot, we weren't. But we had to stay persistent. We had to keep knocking down walls. And I was still doing the work that I was doing in the development side, which helped to build the credibility for what we were doing in the hotel space. So we kept doing webinars. We kept doing things to really educate the community. It wasn't really receptive all the way. But we stayed fervent on our goal and our vision. And then it was when actually my business partner's grandmother passed away. And she was like, she didn't get to see me own a hotel. That's when it turned up and drive. That's when it had more purpose. That's when it had the legs of, yes, the 1,000 doors, but we're doing this for legacy. And that's what really changed and took off. And I'm not going to lie, when I went there, because it's in El Reno, Oklahoma. There's a Home 2 Suites by Hilton in El Reno, Oklahoma. When we went there, and it was a lady working at the front desk, and she was like, are you guys the new owners? And to be 2 hours away from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where my ancestors couldn't even walk through the front door of this hotel, and to have to tell this white lady, yes, we are. That to me was everything that we worked for.
Powerful. Wow. Man, I just got goosebumps just now, because that's like an ancestor's dream. Like, the ancestors are like, yo, we gonna get you this hotel, right?
Especially who you had working there. And we were able to say, because that's the thing, it's like, we come in love, we come in peace. We were able to save jobs. We were able to provide 401ks. One lady was just like, I couldn't see. And now, so that's a layer we didn't even think about, because yes, you have the real estate asset, but you also have the business that's on top of it that you have to run. So now, not only are we a hotel owner and we own, that's getting me closer to my 1,000 doors, but we have people's lives that are at stake. Their livelihood is in our hands. They're helping to keep our asset running, because everybody's like, did you move to Oklahoma? No, but I take care of the people that help make sure that I don't have to.
Absolutely.
They're there working to make sure that our asset is operational, and so of course I want to look out for them.
Yeah.
Of course I want to take onus, but it's just something to say to be 2 hours away from where my ancestors once couldn't go.
Wow, that's powerful. And then so, talk about that process though, right? Of buying a hotel, right? Was it, did you, from being a wholesaler, did you save up $8.3 million? You know what I'm saying? Is it that lucrative? Should I stop hosting the show and start wholesaling so I can, make $8.3 million? Like what was that?
Well, one of the things that always drove me, there was a movie called The Big Short that came out.
Yeah.
And that really got me to thinking like, wait, because, I know everybody, I was in college in 2008 when the market crashed. And everybody kept saying, we're waiting for it to crash again. In 2019, they were like, we're waiting for it to crash again. So already, I was like, wait, there are people who won in the crash.
Absolutely.
Like, rather than being scared, because then I was like, well, should I do something else?
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of plan A, and that's it.
Yeah.
There was no plan B.
Yeah.
So it was just like, if there is a looming economy crash coming up, who won? During that time and watching movies like The Big Short exposed me to that side of it. The people who found opportunity in the midst of a perceivable loss.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, the pandemic came last year.
Yeah.
But most millionaires are made in a down market because it's about acquiring the assets when they are wholesale.
Yep.
And that's what I meant by understanding how to identify opportunity for a larger gain.
Yeah.
The hotel play is a long-term play.
Yeah.
It's about, cool, you messing up, you can't pay your rent because the travel is down.
Yeah.
We're going to seize this asset, obviously, for way less than its value.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we
You
were
talking
able to
spicy, Jack talking spicy. Okay.
That's how we were able to make the deal happen.
Yeah.
Because we were able to find an opportunity of somebody who was on the downtrod.
Right.
We come in and bring it on the uptrod. And then now the bank is happy.
Yes.
We're happy.
Yes.
And everybody wins.
Yes. Wow.
And that's how we were able to do the deal. Really from looking for opportunity to see like, who is not able to keep up with everything due to the pandemic?
Yeah.
Who didn't? I mean, we quickly learned who didn't have more than 30 days. They tell us like, oh, make sure you have 3 months or not 6 months
6 to 8
worth
months
of
of expenses. Yeah.
We found out very quickly how many businesses don't have savings.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's where you find opportunity, though.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're ready and you're looking. And from 2008, I couldn't make, I was in media.
Right.
I'm in college.
Right.
That didn't connect to me.
Yeah.
But after watching The Big Short, it exposed the whole sector of people that won during a down economy. And that's what we were able to do.
I love it. And so now, you have like a personal mission, right? To like, you don't want to be the only hotel owner, right? Like you have a personal mission to really like educate, people on the process, right? From wholesale to hotel owner. Talk about your educational program and platform.
Yeah, so the part of what I found when I was in corporate America is that everybody wanted to leave, but just like me, they didn't know how. Thankfully, I had a boss that helped me to take a bet on myself.
Yeah.
But so many people are like, we want to get out, we don't know how. We don't know how we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, look. You can be a hotel owner.
Yeah.
But you need to learn certain steps to even have the conversation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you mention hotel and you start talking to, you start throwing out words and start talking about cap rate and all that stuff, people can be like, what?
Right,
overwhelmed.
Right.
So understanding wholesaling is about understanding low risk, beginner investing strategies that help you to learn the deal without having to lose the money. Because you understand how to identify opportunity, what I can now do with it, how to find buyers to fund the deal, and then now how do we bring all the players together through the attorney. That same concept, obviously on a scalable, much larger level, is the same principles that I was able to use to get to the hotel.
Wow.
So that's what we focus on. We have an attorney. We have contracts and things that protect you, protect your money. We talk about how to find sellers. How to get their number, how to hunt them down and make the connection, how you negotiate, especially when they come, you hear it's over 50 projects going on in Atlanta.
Right.
So everybody think their property worth $10 million because of the property is coming down the street.
Right, for sure.
So we discuss negotiation tactics, like how to get to the numbers of where you need to be. And those concepts are things that you scale and you can get into much larger opportunities. But you have to understand the groundwork, and that's what we cover in Wholesaler to Hotel Owner.
I love that because I know even in your story, right? Having that support system when you were in corporate, of the boss telling you, like guiding you, right? And telling you, listen, just, create the plan first before you leave, getting into the wholesale game, but having a team of people that were helping usher and that helped you out. And so I love, the fact that, you're able to use the collective education of people who have done it before to kind of propel, right? To kind of leap, have that quantum leap and to save some time. And so what would you say is the biggest obstacle, right? When you think about wholesaling, when you think about just being in this development space, what's the biggest obstacle that you faced and others, potentially wanting to get into that space will face?
Well, I think the biggest obstacle when I quit my job and I had that 90-day and I generated my annual salary. Nobody told me that you don't know when the next check will come. And especially as an entrepreneur, you eat what you kill.
Absolutely,
so I think for me, the biggest obstacle was those gaps in between. Yes, you may make a large lump sum of money at one time, but then how do you fill in and color the between wholesale deals? Because especially if you don't stay on it, especially if you coast up and you start to relax, you'll realize those time windows in between a check is farther and farther away. That was a reality check. Because I could speak about it now, but I mean, this is a 5-year journey that got me here. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist.
Because I love that.
Because it helped me to appreciate the journey.
Absolutely.
It helped me to appreciate all the elements that go into where I am. And that's one of the things, like, it took me, not knowing where my next check was coming from to light a fire in my ass, to make me go. Because like I said, I can get a little coasty, like, oh, we good. I just got back from Maui, but it helps to light a fire up under my ass.
Absolutely.
When I understand that it's nothing else coming up unless you set it up, unless you create it, unless you generate it. So that's really what helped me to start thinking about cash flow. That's what really got me on the target of 1,000 doors, because it was like, wholesaling is great. It was an entry point. But if I want to sustain this, I have to start coloring in the lines. I have to stay hungry. And that's one of the things that I was able to accomplish. Like, okay, and now I have my goal set on $83,000 a month. How can I generate through these 1,000 doors or more at least $83,000 a month? And that's what I've been on a mission to do. But that's a huge obstacle, and I'm still climbing that mountain.
Nice. No, I love that. And then so now, you climb that obstacle. You've been through, all the grind and figured things out. Where you are today, and looking back at your 18-year-old self, if you could give Jessica Myers, 18-year-old Jessica Myers, some advice, what would you tell her?
Ooh. Push past fear. Push past fear, because it almost, I don't know if you remember the movie 300.
300, yeah.
But remember, it was like they had all these like six packs and everything like that, and it was like they used some CGI technology, and it was only 6 people really on set.
Right.
But it looked like it was thousands.
Yeah.
That's how fear is.
When
you push past that first few rows of people, you see it's nothing there. And if I could have went back and told my 18-year-old self that, you would have been talking to a hotelier in 20.
Wow, yeah. And so now, somebody's watching this who is, they got one foot in, one foot out, meaning that they're an entrepreneur. They want to, or they're not an entrepreneur, they work a 9 to 5, they want to be an entrepreneur, so they started this, side hustle, whatever the case may be. What advice do you have for that, for that side hustler?
Plan it out to play it out. And that's one of the things that I know when I was working in corporate America, I just at least knew, I don't know how, but my bills are being taken care of. Like if a phone bill come in, cool, I paid it, whatever. My brother sat me down, especially when I went to quit my job. He was like, how much are you bringing in? How much are you putting out? And I don't know how, but it seemed like the outcome was greater than the income. So I don't know how bills were paid or whatever. But I was not money smart. I was not tracking the process. I was not writing down financial fiscal goals. It was just like, one day I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be great. and then I'm gonna live a happy life.
Yeah.
But I had no idea of how to build that. So that's where I think so long we were left out of those conversations. And that's why it's important, like your platform and what we're able to do, it's important to have those conversations. To show people how to put together short-term, midterm, and long-term goals. So that short-term goal, cool, that's my wholesaling. That's that 3 to 6 months. I'm gonna do enough deals. Let me tabulate how much I need to generate. And if somebody works 9 to 5, it's kind of easy because you at least already got how much you're willing to put up for whatever they're paying you. So if they're paying you $17 an hour, how much ever it falls down to, you've already agreed to it. So just multiply 17, 40 hours a week. How much in 3 to 6 months do I need to save up? That's what I need to do short-term wise. How can I generate that short-term? Now moving on to my midterm, that's that one, you know, for me, it's flipping houses and development. So that's where, you know, I build houses and maybe once a quarter or 3 or 4 times a year, I'm actually flipping a house. That's my midterm goals. And that's generally about 6 months to a year and a half as far as worth of savings you want to have or engines that you put your money into. And then you got your long-term goal. Your long-term goal, that is the cash flow. That is the without me having to do anything. But you need to buy your time incrementally so that you can get to the point so you can think long-term. Because so many times you can't think long. I'm talking to somebody about cash flow in a hotel. They're just like, well, let me get, you know, 50,000 real quick and then I'll join you. But how do you even get there? You got to look at the short-term approach. You got to look at the midterm approach to get to the long-term. So we're having long-term conversations, but it starts with the practical skill of short-term. That's why I titled the course Wholesaler to Hotel Owner, because you really want to take advantage of the steps that it takes to build a solid foundation.
And I love that because it's like, yo, fall in love with the process, right? Like you can't, you know, like to be 20 years old, you can't just wake up and blink your eyes and be 20 years. It takes 20 years to be 20 years old, right? And so, you know, so, but not necessarily in time, but it does take you learning a process. And then once you fall in love with the process, then you could start taking that quantum leap. So I love that. And so, you know, you said something earlier about, you know, opportunity being in like downtime, right? And so, you know, someone's watching who is an entrepreneur and they, you know, they're going all in. It's, you know, the pandemic looks like it's over and it's looking like the country's about to open back up. You know, what do you tell that entrepreneur, you know, who might have had some tough times, but is now like, all right, I'm ready to bounce back. Like, what do you tell them, you know, in order to get them like really kind of back on their feet and really flourishing as an entrepreneur?
Well, for one, do an audit of what happened, because a lot of times we can just take it as, well, I didn't make any money or I lost everything, but really look at what happened. You lost everything because of what? So really do an audit on your success, your failure, know what you did right. Because even in a failure, you did something right. Know what you did wrong. And then now understand what I can do differently to move forward.
Oh, I love that,
Because when I hop on a plane, I know I don't know how to drive a plane. But I know that I can go to pilot school and figure it out, and ultimately I can be a pilot. But a lot of times financially, if you don't necessarily, it could be things that you don't know that you don't know that you don't even know you don't know that's blocking you from getting to the next level. And that's why I talked about the mindset conversation, pushing past fear, because all of those considerations are going to try to keep you from taking that quantum leap. But when you understand that the universe responds, the universe gets you, as long as you get the education, you still have to get the education to know the basics of what it is that you're looking to do. And that's how you can start making the leaps. That's how you can say, okay, I went through this, but this is now to prepare me for this, which is why The Alchemist is one of my favorite books. Because when he was in the jewelry store, you didn't see the mastery that was coming. It's just like, oh, he's working in a jewelry store. He's working for $10 an hour. But if I go back and look that I was working there to understand mastery, to understand patience, to understand diligence, to understand consistency, then it was all part of the journey and worth the treasure in the end.
Wow. Oh, that's a big bar. That's a big bar. All right. So we are inside the vault. And so I want to shift gears a little bit and just kind of like, you know, just talk about you personally, right? And so as somebody, I know you like the vacation, right? But as somebody who has been able to, you know, work on, you know, multi-million-dollar projects and, you know, amass a lot of money, what would you say is the most extravagant thing you've done with money?
Ooh.
So far.
Oh. I mean, I would say I splurged on my wedding.
Okay.
I flew off a rooftop, actually at the Hilton Garden Inn right here. We flew off the top away in wedded bliss. We spared no expense. And it was an amazing, just to celebrate love, unity, and then the rock that my husband is for me. So that was a huge splurge because I know people in my family at the time, like several of my cousins, they went to the courthouse and they were like, we buying a house.
Right.
And I was just like, well, I'm creating a memory.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
So, and then too, we did a huge trip to Africa.
Nice.
And
What
when I
part
tell
of
you,
Africa?
Paradigm shift.
Yeah.
I've been back several times since,
Yeah.
but our most expensive trip was when we went to Nairobi.
Oh, nice.
And then we went to Zanzibar and
Nice.
Tanzania.
Nice.
So that was the biggest splurge, but that helped me to appreciate, like, this is what I do it for,
Nice.
to connect with people. And the motherland is so beautiful.
Yes.
It was such a special trip.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward. My family and I, we're actually, this year, we're going to touch the motherland.
Oh,
So,
where are you going?
So we're going to go to Benin. So I actually did a DNA test. And so I'm 30% Nigerian and 25% Benin. And so we're gonna touch both of those
And
both of those countries.
I swear it's a doppelganger of us. Every country, like over there, we all look. You're gonna see so many brothers and sisters.
Yeah, no, it's funny because both my parents are from Haiti, and I remember working at a bank and talking to one of the customers who was from Benin. And when I told him that I'm from Haiti, he was like, "Oh, you're my brother." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, "No, you're my brother. I'm from Benin, but most of the people from Benin were dropped off at Haiti." And I said, "Oh, okay." And so when and he was right, because when I went to go check, we went to do
And
that.
because there's something powerful about knowing where you came from.
Oh, that's where the power lies, right?
Because even when we went over there, like our driver, he was like, he knew 25 generations back.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I know 3. But to be able to look and be like, my granddad built that. Because over there in Africa, when they have kids, or when they buy land, they'll partition it based on how many children that they have.
Wow.
And so it's like, cool, you're already set. So it's like, imagine if we knew this makeup with our creativity.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the media tries to disconnect
Absolutely.
the two. But
Yeah.
going back is so much more powerful for the greater mission.
Yeah.
Because yes, I love real estate and what we get to do,
Yeah.
but the greater mission
Yeah.
is helping our people rise again.
Absolutely.
I am on a mission to create memorable, magical moments.
Absolutely.
And that's what life is about. That's the fulfillment.
The last shall be
purpose.
first. So, actually, this is good.
It's just like real estate is a cherry on top.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's really about that fulfillment of purpose, and that's what I'm so excited about.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so, what would you say is the most impactful thing that you have done with money?
I would say being able to do this and my parents see it,
Yes.
and being able to create experiences for them, and being able to give. Like when I got my first job, and I said I didn't make much, but my mom had never made even that much in her whole 25-year career.
Wow. Yeah.
So being able to give back and for no reason give her a cash app,
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
that's the most impactful because I know how much my mom sacrificed. And even now, I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
But even my girlfriends tell me, "Oh, girl, we had to give up this, we had to give up that," and it really reminded me, like, damn, my mom gave up a lot for me. So to be able to send her a cash app, and she'll call me like, "What's this for?"
Yeah.
That is the impact.
Absolutely, I love it. And so, what being around money and realizing, how money works and things of that nature. What would you say is the biggest money myth that's out there that you want to dispel? Right? They're like, money doesn't grow on trees. You need money to make money. Like, there's so many different different ones. Give me a money myth that you would like to dispel.
Whenever anyone is having issues with money, they can't get it, it's a lack of ideas.
Oh.
And I think that that's the part of the conversation that people don't understand about money. Because anybody I'm talking to about wealth or anything like that, they're coming up with ideas. They're constantly in the mode of creation. And that's utilizing your God force to create. And when you understand that, money looks different. So I think that's the myth where people think to get more money, I got to work harder. I got to work smarter. But it's just about coming up with ideas. You solve problems. I'm actually a solutionist. Like, if people try to define me, like, are you real estate, or are you this, or are you that? Because I'm a developer. I'm a wholesaler. I'm a hotel owner. But really what it is I come up with ideas. And I execute. And it's really about staying in that idea creation space. And that will help. I mean, that's the biggest myth, I think. That people think you can solve the money issue by working on money. And it's not.
I wonder, has there been any barriers for you being a Black woman developer, Black woman? You know, like talk about that for me for
I
a
don't know
second.
if I would call them barriers because
Yeah.
I stay so focused on solutions.
Yeah.
So even if it came, I know that it's just an obstacle that I put in my way to overcome. But I get tried all the time. Like I mentioned, I'm a developer as well. So I build houses from the ground up.
Yeah.
We just sold $1 million home to a rapper. We got another $1 million home in the works. So we build a lot of good properties.
Yeah.
But a lot of these neighbors don't like seeing what we do. So they call the inspectors every day.
Yeah.
They actually, I was recording another show, Making of a Mogul, and that lady, literally the camera guy, he's walking, it's a construction site.
Yeah.
He fell back to catch his balance, which landed him on her little blade of grass. She came out the door yelling so much.
Wow.
She was just like, get off my. So it's just like to go through our neighbors have gone through our mail.
Wow.
I've had someone else sit at the closing table and said some intimidating things like, oh, it's you buying the house? If I would have known that, I would have charged more.
Wow.
So where a lot of people may see this as obstacles, sending the county to our house daily is nothing to play with.
Yeah.
But it's just something I say is to make me stronger.
And so, so I listen to what people say, right? And you just said that if it happens to me, I don't look at it as a barrier, something that I created to overcome. I'm not letting that slide. Explain that. I don't know.
But that's like understanding the alchemist.
Yeah.
When you go to the gym now, I did have a huge weight loss. I lost probably about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people who hadn't seen me in years, they're just like, what did you do?
Yeah.
I didn't do this by blinking.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, you have to put weights and resistance.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself through challenges that I don't want to go run around Stone Mountain.
Yeah.
But that I need to get 5 miles, and that's what I have to do to put my body in a extenuating situation so that I know that it comes out in an optimal desired result, which is no different than the pressure that makes diamonds from coal. Like when I understood that coal, the things we use on the grill, that is what makes these precious diamonds. But how much pressure is it put under? And that's why I say people get tied to the 8.3 because that's the diamond, that's the shiny thing. But if you don't fall in love with the process and what it took me to get there, and as much as I be hoping my trainer will take it easy on me today, but I know I won't get the results that I want. If he lights up any any bit, I won't get the desired goal. And so that's what it's about, understanding that it's funny when you look at life, like you're just like, why am I going through this? But when you understand and look at the story from a macro view, you understand you needed to go through every obstacle to get to where you are and be who you are. I would not be a hotel owner if any one thing didn't happen. If that contractor didn't sell drugs out of my house, as horrifying as it was at the time, I would not be here if it weren't for that moment. And so that's why I have to become appreciative, because it's a book called Lean Into the Obstacle is the Way. And it's about leaning into the obstacle. As crazy as that sounds, it's like leaning into the 300, the movie that I was talking about. Leaning in, and you see that, wait, I was just doing this to get me stronger. And that's what it's about.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I caught that because, I believe that we are all co-creators, we create our life, we create the circumstances that are part of our lives, and people don't really, if you don't really understand the way God works, the way the universe works, you may say, wait, what are you talking about? I didn't create poverty, I didn't create racism, I didn't create prejudice, or whatever the case may be, but I believe in energetic alignment, right?
Exactly.
And so if you're not energetically aligned with a thing, then the thing is never going to be able to, penetrate your aura, right? And so if you want to stop struggling, then raise your vibration to go above struggle, right? But if you're energetically aligned with struggle and struggle is hitting your doorstep, then right, I created this struggle because I am vibrating at this level, and so let me increase my vibration so that struggle isn't something that I'm experiencing. And as I continue to raise my vibration, I'll never even have to see, right, struggle. You know what I mean? And people may ask, well, what about slavery, or what about this? Like literally that's proof, right? Because there's people, Black people, during slavery who weren't enslaved, right? There are people who built fortunes black people during slavery. So it's, you know, it's about that energetic alignment. So I love that you said that, and I didn't want to, you know, kind of want to let that go away.
Yeah, because even Ralph Smart, he said it best, where he was like, they put us in the ground. They didn't realize we were seeds.
We were seeds, absolutely.
And so that, because it's just like when you put a seed in the ground, the tree is not there. The tree is not in the seed. The seed is like this big, but it draws from it. Everything. So like you said, like I used to work at a radio station, V103 actually, and it was 103.3. If you're tuned in at 97.5, you're not hearing what's going on up here. So it's about tuning into the right place and know that you're always on. For anybody to think that they're not, you're drawing in your circumstances to you. It's what you do with them that determines your results.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. All right, so we're gonna do a speed round, a lightning round. So we're inside the vault, and so what we like to do is take terms and kind of flip them, right?
Okay.
And so the first term we're going to talk about is deposit slip, right? So deposit slip, when you go into the bank, you use the deposit slip to deposit money into the bank. But for us, deposit slip is a slip up, right? It's a money mistake, right? Something that you slipped up on. And so what is the biggest money mistake or deposit slip that you've had so far in your journey?
Like I said, giving that contractor all of that cash up front, I have never done that again, but that was a huge slip up. Another property, I mean, honestly, working through the pandemic, I finally took the leap and bought a larger property than probably should have. And I was like, whatever, it's gonna happen. And then the pandemic shut everything down. The cost of lumber and everything went up. That was a huge project that, wound up, it was embarrassing. It went upside down. But to your point, like I knew that I put the obstacle in there. So I found a way to make lemonade out of that situation. But that was scary. That was a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Second term is charge off, right? And so charge off, you have the credit card company gives you money, you can't pay it, so now they charging it off. But for us, charge off is what type of mindset or people did you have to charge off during your journey?
Oh, the naysayers, everybody who said you couldn't. And I love the celebration now that people have for the hotel that we purchased. But that was not the case.
Oh, yeah.
That was not the case. Like I don't want to start naming names.
Say the names.
I want to start saying it. But everybody happy now.
Yeah.
But people were just like, you're crazy. What are you doing? And you talk about charge off. Like you just had to put your blinders on, and I'm not even going to listen to the noise. But baby, the people who told me we were crazy for doing what we did.
Wow. And then lastly, ATM, right? So ATM is another teachable moment. So we know at ATM, you put your card in, you get the money out. And the money we want out is the bars, the gems, right? And so give us another teachable moment, a moment during your journey where, sort of like The Alchemist, right? Where, hindsight's 2020, you go through these things, and then when you go back, you're like, oh, this actually helped me become who I am. And so give us one more teachable moment in which, in your journey, there was something that you noticed, or something that came up that you realized was actually a benefit to you.
Well, if I could go back to the last one, one of the things people used to tell me, I was all over the place and I'm doing too much. And to your point, that leads into the benefit. I've always heard 7 streams of income. Always. Like people used to always say, and I'm not gonna lie, like I got in my lane and I was like, okay, well, where's the other 6?
Right.
Understanding, when I start selling the course, when I start selling the book, when I got speaking engagements, and I was like, these are the, it was like an aha moment, this is streams. And then when you look at a stream flows uninhibited.
Absolutely,
So it's about understanding how to use your cash to work for you. To let your cash be the engine that runs and continues to give you dividends. That's why I say start with the short term, midterm. That long term is that engine that's gonna run. The engine of a car is the most pivotal part to making it go. And that is what that 7 stream is, like the arteries that go in to make the heart pump. Understanding that, oh my God, like it takes it from just something you hear to something you do, and that changes the game.
I love it. All right. Jessica Myers, y'all, and so I know you have a program that program that's teaching us everything that you learned, all the mistakes that you made, everything that's gotten you to where you are, from wholesaler to hotel owner. Yes. Right? But you're doing something special, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about the program.
Yes, just for you and just for the people that you have, because I love the platform and I love the mission of what you're doing. Join us at the Wholesale Vault for a special price on introductory ways of getting involved in real estate investing.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And so we got Jessica Myers. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you share this video, because literally, I love the story of just being at a position where you're working 9 to 5, still trying to figure out what you need to, wanted to do, using wholesaling as a way to build that capital,
Exactly.
Low risk, high reward, right?
Exactly.
And you build some capital, and now that capital allows you to do what you love to do. Yeah. And so tap in, please learn from the people who have done it before, who could save you some time. Go to the wholesalevault.com, check out her program, tap in with her. If people wanted to connect with you, where can they find you?
It's Jessica Myers on Instagram, and it's part of the handle. It's Jessica Myers on Instagram. It's the best way to reach me.
All right, y'all. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode of the greatest money mindset show on the planet, Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you tell a friend. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend about Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. I'm going to see you next time for another powerful episode. Same time, same place, in God's will. Peace.
Oh yeah. You want Ash Cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.